I stopped playing Diablo 4 Season 14 some time ago, and I wasn't really following the news about the game at all because for me the season was done. Also, in my review about Season 14, I laid out all the issues that I had with the game, decided that I'm not gonna play it anymore, and that was basically that. But then I stumbled upon this article. Diablo 4 Season 14's worst mythic change is no more. Not every idea lands. And when I think about it, I can actually say Blizzard reacted quickly to the whole Mythic fiasco. However, they reacted to the wrong fire. The Mythic controversy was easy to identify because it was simple. I crafted 2 Mythics, why can I only wear 1? Because the whole idea was that we can craft Mythics from Uniques, right? So obviously when you can equip only 1 crafted Mythic, that's a very visible problem that creates immediate frustration. Now, removing that restriction was the obvious fix, and they admitted it. I mean, it was a bit obvious, wasn't it? Not to mention saying not every idea lands is probably the healthiest attitude they have had towards Diablo 4 in a while. The problem is, I don't think that's what determines whether Season 14 is enjoyable or not. To me, there are far bigger issues than being able to craft Mythics and equip them. Let's start from the obvious one, war plans not being account-wide. This feels like busy work rather than progression, and Diablo is already a game where many people enjoy making multiple characters each season. So repeating this kind of grind on every character discourages your experimentation. And speaking about experimentation, build diversity is reduced. Because if every class has only 1 or 2 competitive endgame builds, then the new Mythic system doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter how many Mythics exist if everyone is chasing the exact same setup. Also, when it comes to experimentation, classes got heavily nerfed. Blizzard apparently has increasingly balanced around the highest performing builds, but the collateral damage is that average or fun builds become uncompetitive. I mean, just look at the leaderboards. Everyone is running the same build or 2, and that's about it. So basically, with these nerfs, you don't lose power, you pretty much lose reasons to play your favorite class, and that's exactly what happened to me. Necromancer and Paladin are both classes that I enjoy, but because of the nerfs of the builds that are actually fun, I don't really want to play those classes anymore. So that's why I rolled Rogue, very simple. And you could say maybe you could have rolled Barbarian, but I played it the last season. I don't want to play the same thing all over again. It's pretty much boring, that's the reality of the situation. And the final point that I want to make is the seasonal system, or seasonal theme, whatever you want to call it. There isn't any. It's same old that we already seen before. And as far as the enemies goes, to me, that's just basically the same enemies that we were killing, but different skin, or different color, or whatever. But it's the same, no matter how you look at it. So the irony is that the new Mythic system was supposed to increase build diversity, and on paper, allowing Mythic versions of almost any unique is a cool idea, but in practice, if balance pushes everyone towards the same build, then you created thousands of theoretical possibilities that nobody actually uses. Ultimately, I could say that Blizzard sometimes mistakes friction for depth. I mean, let's think about it. There is a difference, and a very important one, between making players make meaningful choices and simply making things more inconvenient. So the 1 crafted Mythic limit fell squarely into the second category. It didn't really create interesting decisions at all. You basically felt punished for engaging with the crafting system, and removing it was the right move because it removed friction without reducing depth. And some of you might say that I am praising Blizzard because of their response time. But let's not forget, people on the PTR already told them that this is not going to work. So essentially, this is not me praising Blizzard, this is pointing out how dumb they are. Because this shouldn't have happened at all in the first place. They knew exactly what this Mythic thing is going to create, and they just simply thought that people are going to go over it and say nothing. But to me, this just means more smoke and mirrors, because again, like I said previously in the video, there are more important things than 1 Mythic per character. So essentially, the biggest concern here is the design philosophy. If every season launches with systems that people immediately question, especially if you had previous feedback, and then Blizzard spends the first month or so walking them back, then the PTR and internal testing may not be catching the kinds of issues that are obvious once thousands of people get their hands on them. I mean, take a look at my situation. Even with this fix, I really don't want to go back in the game because, again, I finished the season, I got the bloody achievement or whatever the hell that was, and then what's left for me other than make a new character, but because of the war plans not being account bound, that's out of the question. Why do I want to engage with this system when my initial impression was sour to a point that I don't want to touch the game until the next season? And even then, I will question whether or not I want to play because of, again, non-account-wide war plans. And all of this is happening because they want to push the player engagement metrics. I swear to God, that's the only reason these things exist. Because remember, the more you slog in the game without having fun, well, that just pumps their numbers and they're saying, look, this many people are playing this many hours and we did something good and blah blah blah, stuff like that. Nobody wants that. If only they have made the war plans account-wide. In my case, for example, I would have made 2, maybe 3 characters. I would probably experiment with other builds, all that stuff. But because you are actively stopping me from playing, then what do you expect? So yeah, they fixed the Mythics, but all the other elements that are important to the game, well, nobody cares about that. I mean, I'm just speechless because it is obvious what needs to be done, but for whatever reason, and obviously speculation and all that stuff, this isn't happening. Well then, people are just going to play maybe until they finish the season on another character and they're just gonna give up because that's the only sensible thing to do. And until Blizzard acknowledges more broader issues, which are arguably what will determine whether people stick around for the season, then we are not going to have a very good time in Diablo 4. So who knows, maybe they will fix this eventually, and here's me hoping they're going to be smart enough to fix it for Season 15, because if this thing continues, well, you can say goodbye to your amazing metrics. I don't think anyone is dumb enough to waste their time, especially if you're not having fun while playing the game, and that's the only reason why we do these things. We want to have fun. We don't want mindless grind just because someone thought it's going to be a good idea to present it to the management. Ah, Blizzard, you never fail to surprise me, but always in a bad way. And that's basically my take on this news. Thanks very much for watching, and as always, like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And that's it from me, until the next one.